Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. How's everyone doing on this wonderful Wednesday, hump day?
We need Leland Stadium on here. It's hump day. It's Cinco de Mayo.
It is also Cinco de Mayo. Yes, I will be having for lunch today before it gets too busy at night and crowded. I'm going to spend some time this afternoon participating in Cinco de Mayo.
I pass.
Yeah.
I pass. I don't know if I can take the tequila and tacos right now. My whole stomach ain't doing good.
And check in, everybody. We see we got Miss Stewart checking in. Hopefully, we'll see you on Thursday, Miss Stewart.
Yeah.
And check in and let us know. I see people are coming on in.
What up, Avery? That's my little twin right there, honey. She a moving builder. That's my girl. That's my baby girl.
Yeah, and I'll start off saying we'd love to hear about how the week has been going so far from you. But today we're just going to talk about a host of things. There's a lot going on in public education. You know, we have graduations coming up. Like shout out as we have had our cohort 8 just graduated, which was our last cohort class. They came out on Saturday. We did the things socially distant. They were in their cars. They were riding around. They had their family. We made some signs, and it was a beautiful day. Even through all the traffic on a Saturday. Board action this past Monday, we're going to talk a little bit about that. We had some powerful parent leaders come out and really just push us out there a campaign call that they wanted action. And so they actually led it themselves. We supported, and so we'll talk about that. Promise and Scholars deadline is going to be today, May the 5th. So get that in if you have not gotten it in already. Share it out with a friend on your text message. We'll put the link in the comments, but send it to a friend just to remind them as well. We'll talk about TN ready testing. We'll talk about MAP testing. Also with graduations, we'll talk about the graduating seniors and then the rising seniors. You know, it's a beautiful time to walk across that stage, but it's also just as beautiful to be getting ready for August to say you're going to be a senior. And then lastly, we'll talk about Dr. Sanya Santalisis and our work around just talking to her about the personalized learning plan. And we'll talk about some of the feedback that she gave Sanya and our team. Did I miss anything, Sanya? I see everybody checking in.
No.
Let's see. So we got Margaritas It Is participating. Candace Brewington, how you doing, ma'am? Welcome, everyone. And we are going to get this. All righty. So the first thing just wanted to go right into is we talked about Saturday. Saturday was just a wonderful moment. I think the first person, we started at 10 and one of our first parents lined up at like 9:15. It really pulled on my heartstrings because we had been planning this. This cohort 8 virtually has been working hard. We've had really deep discussions. And so to see the first person get there at 9:15 really warmed my heart. Even with a tractor trailer that turned over and I think the interstate was closed down, she said she was going to be there like early. And as we rode around, you know, we played graduation music and parents are just asking about, you know, what's next. And so big shout out to cohort 8. Really appreciate you guys. Looking forward to getting you committed and continuing in the movement. And we will have more details to come.
Yeah, and I want to say personally, like a congratulations to all the parent advocates that graduated from our fellowship this Saturday. It is the only one I've ever missed, and I'm gonna tell you something. My heart was broken, but I had to go to my daughter's graduation, who graduated from Tennessee State University's magna cum laude, and those are the words that I have longed to hear. For one of my children to graduate from college with honors, because I just believe that they are brilliant, and to be able to celebrate that with my daughter Sarah, you know, I could not miss that. But I just want you guys to know that my heart was with you, and I will do my very best not to miss another one.
Yeah, well, the team missed you, but we knew again, graduate from TSU, go Big Blue. A lot going
Yeah.
on in the land of TSU, and I heard you got some other people coming up through there pretty soon. So we totally understood.
The team held it down though, man. I saw the videos and all that, and I was like, dang. And you know what? Wasn't worried one bit, right? So I just straight out missed it. I was like, man, because I know it's just an exciting moment for parents to accomplish 6 weeks. I mean, most of them, I think I only had 2 people that missed the class for extenuating circumstances. But most of the parents didn't miss a class. Didn't miss a class. And they learned so much, John, and just ready to take what they learned and put it to action. And they are so excited.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And let us know if you guys have graduating seniors that are coming up, post them, let's highlight them, let's celebrate them. Even if you got rising seniors who are getting ready when August starts to embark upon this final journey in secondary education. And so what I want to talk about next, I definitely want to talk about tea and ready and just getting feedback on how that went for everybody. But I also want to talk about some on the state, Sanya. It's in the legislature, and we got to understand, right? You have the federal government that supersedes the state government, right? Our state government that supersedes the local government. And right now in MNPS, we're part of the local government. And it's been a lot going on as we talk about just racism and we just talk about race in general. I was on the podcast discussion for the Promise podcast yesterday and just listening to a lot of new East Nashvillians just talk about how they didn't know and how they were disgusted and wanted to do something about it. And talking about it is really important. And I'll tell you this article that I want to highlight, and I would love everyone's feedback, talks about the state legislature potentially passing it in both the state house and the state senate, where we can't really have those discussions. And I'm going to just read a couple of excerpts and then we'll love to get you guys feedback and even chime in, because if this is passed, it'll definitely affect our kids here in Nashville and if anybody's listening in Memphis too. Let me pull this up. So essentially, it says a House divided. Tennessee legislative chamber split on bill banning classroom discussions about systemic racism. And then it just says a proposal that would ban classroom discussions about systemic racism passed Tuesday in the Tennessee House of Representatives after an impassioned debate between white Republicans and mostly Black Democrats about how U.S. history should be taught. House members voted 69-23 along party lines for the 11th hour proposal as they work to wind down their 2021 session. Whoever writing this is wind down. The Senate voted not to accept the legislation, so it won't become law this year, but that just means next year in this summer, they're going to be planning for it. But it essentially said it would authorize the Commissioner of Education to withhold funds from schools and districts where instruction wades deeply into the topics about racism, sexism, bias, and other social issues that permeate American life. And this has already been passed in Idaho, Utah, and Arkansas. And so as you see that, and I'll put the link in the chat just so you can read it too, like, what are some of your thoughts around that? Like, do you think that we should be teaching our kids about systemic racism in our school system? Do you think they know?
Do I need to?
No.
Are you sharing it to groups?
So yeah, let me know. Let me click out of this. And so Sasha says, this is crazy. In this world, is this even considered a bill? And yeah, what are you thinking, Sanya, when you read the article?
Nothing surprises me anymore. I'm going to tell you guys, the bills that have come through the Tennessee State legislature over the last few months are rooted in racism and white supremacy. I repeat, the bills that have come across and been passed in our Tennessee state legislature surrounding education, from the bill that is around third grade retention to the discipline bill of children being put out of class, even to this bill, is rooted and grounded and fermented in racism and white supremacy. So I don't know if you wanted to ask me that, because that's exactly what I was thinking when I read that. Letitia said, this shit never ends. It ends when we need to put people in office who are not racist. We need to put people in office who understand what it means to be racist. This bill silences us as Black people. It does not allow the truth to be told. And truth is not about people's feelings. So in the article, the senator that proposed the bill said that he had gotten an email from a child who said that they didn't want to be white anymore because they didn't want to be seen as a racist. We don't want our children dead anymore. We don't want our people shot down by police anymore. We don't want to be enslaved or oppressed anymore. And I understand that, baby, because she's a baby. But the problem is when we stop talking about it. See, that was her first time she heard it. For her to feel like that, she's not hearing the truth. And so that's why it's important for the school system and everybody in this world to tell the truth, so that children don't get messaging that makes them feel like they don't want to be here anymore. So that's a huge mistake. It's a huge excuse. And if we don't tell our story, then somebody will tell it for us.
Yeah, Candace says we need to learn about the good and the bad in our history so we don't repeat bad behaviors. And she ends with, if you know better, then you do better. And I think talking about what has happened, for a long time, like, our kids need to know that. And I'm going to read one more. So they had a little discussion, Sanya, towards the end, and a lot of people went on record. And one person in particular, Representative Sapicki, he said, we must be a colorblind society and we must be colorblind in our schools. Great quote. This is what he follows up with. We should judge people on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Paraphrasing MLK, who spent his life discussing and fighting systemic racism. We cannot teach the next generation to feel guilt and anguish simply because of the color of their skin. Watch that guy. That guy was the same person that promoted that behavior bill that was disgusting.
Spell his name. Spell his name.
Cepicky. And I think they pronounce it as Sapicki.
Mr. Sapicki, you're racist. Mr. Sapicki, you are racist. I repeat, Mr. Sapicki, you're racist. Mr. Sapicki, we are not colorblind. I am Black. John is Black. There is no color blindness. Why should we be colorblind when we can't change what color we are? And we're not asking anybody to even overlook our color. We're asking to be treated with equality and have equity. And we're asking for the truth to be told. That's all that needs to happen. Tell the truth. And then you won't have a child who's ashamed to be white. Because if she knows the truth, she'll understand what she's got to do to change it.
So this is something we're going to monitor. I'm pretty sure they're going to have a summer study and discuss it even more, and they're going to bring it back come January, February, and next year. But this year, it seems it is passed. But it was all kind of bills. It was bills where you can kill a protester, and you get away with it. You know, it was a behavior bill that passed. They talked a little bit about So this legislature was full of a hot mess.
Yeah, I probably get a phone call because I call Mr. Suspecty a racist. But I would tell him to his face.
Yep, the truth.
The truth.
The truth sets you free. Not the truth hurts. The truth will set you free.
We need to set him free, baby. You be racist. We need to set him free. You colorblind and everything over there.
Come and walk in our shoes.
Yeah, you colorblind and everything.
Yeah, so good discussion on that. And as we move forward, as we think about other things like TN ready testing, how did your son do going in? I'll tell you, little John, I wouldn't say he hated it. I think he loved the writing part. Math was a little bit of a struggle for him this year. But the funny thing he told me when they were out on the playground, you know, after they finished testing, they would let them go play. It was like the kids, they separated the kids who were still virtual and the ones who were actually coming back to school. And so they just had games where they were just between a fence because they couldn't play together. He just thought that was the funniest thing in the world. It was like, if they got the germs, you're still going to get it. Like,
yeah, my son, he took some of his Tennessee Ready last Monday and Tuesday. He took some Monday and Tuesday this week, and then he has some, I think he said social studies next Monday and Tuesday. So they're still taking Tennessee Ready in person. I'm gonna tell you, I was so used to not driving to the school. One day, 3:30 popped up. He called me, "Where you at?" I'm like, "Oh crap!" You know, I was just so out of routine of picking him up from school. Oh, I was a nervous wreck trying to drive over and get him. I was like, "Oh no, I left my baby at the school."
It's just us getting back in shape. Us getting back in shape.
Yeah.
And so it's two things also that's been coming up as we talk about Monday, which I was really impressed with some of the parents' interaction, but also a conversation we had with Dr. S and her team. Which one did you want to talk about?
Let's talk about Dr. S, Dr. Sanya Santalisis, who is the CEO of, I like that, the CEO of Baltimore Schools. It's equivalent to, her position is equivalent to a superintendent or a director of schools, equivalent to Dr. Battle's position. And so Dr. Sanya Santalisis was one of the speakers at our Get Your Priorities Straight summit. And our theme was the right to be taught how to read. And she was powerful. And if you missed it, you missed something. She is a woman who was said, like the old folks used to say, like it TIEs. She will tell the truth. She says the hard things that those who are in power don't want to say. She was also nominated for Secretary of Education in the United States. This is a woman who is leading a school district that has some of the same inequities that we have here in Nashville, some of the same literacy rates, and some of the same issues of poverty in her city, and some of the marginalization of Black people in her community. And so when we were asking her to speak at our summit, we also told her about our campaign here in Nashville and what we believe and what we know is the game changer for children. And when I tell you a brief summary got her excited to the point that she invited us to come and speak to her central office leaders, her church leadership about the research that we did with our children's cabinet to address learning loss and what an individualized learning plan or a personalized learning plan should look like, what the accountability looks like, what partnership with parent looks like, and what that plan can do for children. And when I tell you that they absolutely loved it, they had a lot of great questions. Shout out to Crystal Barnett from St. Louis, Bridge to Hope. She's leading there. She's the executive director there, and Kimberly Dukes from Atlanta Thrive, and John for helping to present our plan to the Baltimore School District. And they are seriously looking at adopting a similar plan. So we will be working with them. And so that goes into this, to my next piece of the conversation. As you guys know, John, you want to start it off?
Yeah, and I'll say what up just to end that last piece. What I enjoyed about listening to Dr. Santalisis' team. So we did a presentation. We went around the room. We talked about our cities. We talked about what's driving us, where we are, and just to hear the feedback, like legit, true feedback from people who were saying, we're serious about implementing this, and we're going to ask you some questions because we want to do it, and we want to do it great. And so that really helped me realize that we do have something. You know, we're talking to a lady and her team who was, you know, this close to being the Secretary of Education, that wants to partner with real parents, and brought us in not just to listen, but like give feedback. And so as we left there, you know, and we also have been talking to our parents, we realized that the personalized learning plan was something that we needed to get back on board and visible, because we haven't heard much talk about it. And so we started the discussion based on what parents wanted to see. They told us a date, they wanted to see a plan, and Sanya went to work. And that led us to Monday. We had 3 parents, strong parents, who came to lead it with parents behind them. But shout out to Sasha, Sparkle, and Miss Janie for going up and having the courage and just standing on what they believe in. They requested a meeting. We took it to the boardroom. We sat around, and they left unsatisfied and disappointed. And that's why we fight. As I talk to so many parents day in and day out about what's happening with their children, the personalized learning plan for them is the ability to fix things before they go wrong.
I think we got to back the train up a little bit. We met with the district a few months ago, and we presented what parents care the most about, what parents believe that this plan looks like. And we worked really hard on it, worked with some influential people here in Nashville, Bishop Yumiko Jones, and we even worked with educators on this. So I want to get that straight. We have been collaborative. We have been partnering. We have done our research. We have taken this plan to those who are in power, supposedly, that have the power to partner with us. And we've done everything that we are supposed to do. And some people look at our organization and say, you know, I've heard school board members say those who, you know, who scream the loudest get what they want. Well, the Black parents, no matter how long we scream, we don't get nothing. We haven't been getting anything. And so we've been trying to work with the district and give them a chance to put together a plan Show us the plan. I asked back on April the 15th, and I have the emails. Anybody in the media, if you want to look at it, and asked about the progress and when we could meet, because the district also agreed to meet with us monthly. They have met with us over the last few months, but have not met with us since we presented our plan to them. And so I followed up with our liaison, Mr. Hughes, who is the Chief Diversity Officer. Is that right, John? Am I getting this title right? You know, I ain't into titles and stuff.
Right.
And no disrespect, but titles don't mean nothing. And so we took these parents up there because the email chain was just going back and forth. One of the emails, he acted like the hell he didn't know what I was talking about. We asked for a meeting, and he said that Dr. Batt and her team was not available. And so, we understand that schedules are busy. And so we said, we are flexible. What about the next week? Crickets. Didn't say nothing. And so reached back out after meeting with parents on our monthly campaign call to follow up to get an update. And I was told that they would gather up other members from the team to work on a date because Dr. Batta is not available. And my response was, we expect you to keep your commitment. So when we showed up the other day, we showed up after emailing over and over again. Does that sound familiar to anybody out there, parents? After emailing over and over again, getting the runaround. Does that sound familiar? Does it sound like your day-to-day system type behavior? Yeah, it sounds familiar to all of y'all. So we showed up. You know how y'all go and show up at the school. You done email the principal. You done email this person. And don't nobody know what you're talking about all of a sudden. And don't nobody know who do what. And don't nobody have nothing. Y'all familiar with that. And when we got in there and went in that boardroom meeting, Mr. Hughes had the nerve to say he was waiting to hear from me. I got the email. And if y'all want to ask him, I do have a special guest here today. If you would like to ask him any questions. If you want to ask him any questions, let me know. Because I got a question. Mr. Hughes, why you tell that lie? I can't hear you. Why you tell that lie that you was waiting on us to respond back to you? I want you to tell them parents why you said that. And then I want to know, are you our liaison? Because you the one been setting up the meetings with Dr. Batt and her team for months. But when we was in the room, you act like you didn't even know us. And man, my feelings so hurt. Mr. Hughes, can you answer them? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got another question. Mr. Hughes, when we was in there in front of them parents, you ain't know nothing. You didn't know what was gonna happen, and all of a sudden you knew that the personalized plan was gonna be presented to the board on next Tuesday. I just want to know if you are right. I just want to know, are you okay? Was somebody holding you hostage and telling you to come out there and say that stuff to us? Because that wasn't like you, bro. Like, it was totally out of character. You done called me a liar. You done said you don't know what's going on when you just did a roadmap to equity presentation a couple of weeks ago. Then you done put up the roadblock when we come up there on Monday. The roadblock to Mr. Hughes, please answer these parents. Torvis said he on mute. Ashford. Then yesterday, you reached out to me and asked, could we have a conversation at 10:45 today? And that Dr. Battle would drop in. I sure appreciate that, Mr. Hughes. But like I said on Monday, and like the parents, Sparkle and Jamie and Sasha said, we want to see the plan. True parent partnership. Let me teach you a lesson what partnership means, Mr. Hughes. Partnership is about collaboration. It's about inclusiveness. It's about allowing others to give feedback and give their ideas and listening to their feedback. Partnership is not taking something that you don't know that you, if you even have it, because you said you don't even know if you have it, and then you said you didn't know that you had it. It's about sharing with parents. And if we're going to change things in the district, we've got to be on the same page about what partnership looks like, Mr. Hughes. And so my response, I won't nobody be telling no lies, Mr. Hughes. I want you to make sure that you look at me in my eyes. Yesterday was that we would love and we're happy to meet with Dr. Battle. You looking at me, Mr. Hughes? I'm looking at you. Look at me in my eyes when I'm talking to you. We'll be happy to meet with Dr. Battle, but we need to see the plan first. Otherwise, my question to you was, why are we meeting? If we can't see the plan, why are we meeting? And just like you quiet right now, you didn't respond to my email. You got to go? You got anything you want to say? Parents, you got any questions for Mr. Hughes? Sasha said she was so angry at you. She said, I swear I want to call today and say, what are you going to do now? That's what Sasha says. You remember Sasha, the powerful parent that wanted to see the plan? I'm going to let you go now because I'm sure y'all got some meetings y'all got to have. But we still want to see that plan, okay? See you later, Missy. You want a piece of cake before you go? Want some cake? You want a cake? Okay. I'm just trying to be hospitable. Thank you so much for joining our show. Have a good day. Everyone, wait a minute, let me bring it back. Can you come in before you go to your car? Avery said, why does it take so long for a response? Avery want to know, why does it take so long for a response? He gonna get back to us, Avery. He gonna get back to us. Thank you. She said he said it was still on mute. Yeah.
Digital divide.
Mm-hmm. Hey, baby, give me a napkin. I tried to give Mr. Hughes a piece of y'all's cake. You can give me a napkin. I wipe my hand off. He didn't want the cake. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Sasha said, is it again the law to call or go back every day? I'm not sure what she's saying. Was that a question from somebody?
Yeah, she says, is it against the law to call or go back every day? Meaning coming up and
girl, that building we went to the other day. Do y'all know who paid for that building? I wish somebody would call the police on about me going somewhere I paid the light bill and the utilities for. This school district belongs to the parents and the children in it. They work for us. School board was elected by us. They answer to us, and for some reason, they don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else got any questions? I don't think nobody else have. You want to move on, John? I think we told
Mm-hmm.
we put it all out there.
Yep. So, and good discussion, and again, like shout out to the parents who came out. I mean, just listening to them have their own discussion, and Sanya and I literally sit back. It means like not only they invested in the movement, but they're understanding how systems work and understanding how systems a lot of times fail people. Like you said, if you ain't at the table, you on the menu. And so for parents coming to the table, our kids have been on the menu for generations, for decades. And I was happy to see them, and I was happy for them to see what it means to fight.
But I also was happy for them to see what it means to be bullshitted.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
Yeah.
But this is something, as I thought about it after it happened, I thought about the system. The system from the top down.
Yeah.
It's set up the way that it is. You go, you call, you email, you ask questions. Everybody get amnesia. Don't nobody know nothing. What plan? What personal life? What student dashboard? What are you talking about? I'm like, I went back and read my email again because that's what people do to you too. I know somebody else on the school board that tried to do me like that too. They act and they do parents like this. When they go up to the school, they act like they don't know what we talking about. How many of y'all get that?
Mm-hmm.
Go up there, I want my child assessed for learning disability. Huh? What you mean? Oh, you didn't ask for it this way.
Yeah, dyslexia. Yeah.
Right. How many other ways can I ask you?
You know, Sanya, I was in a meeting with a junior, right? She a junior in high school. She can't read that well, right? But now since she's 18, they said, oh, we can't send it to your grandmother, your guardian. We got to send it directly to you. And I'm listening. I was like, do y'all know what y'all just said? We having a meeting because she can't read well. And y'all talking about sending all her IEP documents just to her. But y'all ain't recommended that the mom, that's all they needed to do is like get a consent form so the mom can have access. I was like, what are we talking about? But they were playing games. And they're like, that's a good idea. The hell? But
go ahead.
I know, but that's what we gotta watch out for. Again, we're in a meeting with a kid who can't read well. They said because she's 18, we can only send it to her. Until we brought it up, they said, oh yeah, we can just do a consent form. But that's why we got to be on top of things, because the system will play you to the very end. The guardian already held the child back for a year because she said she wasn't ready this year right now to graduate. We got problems.
This is my message. Today is the episode of y'all think we playing with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Stop playing with us. Stop playing with our children. I don't know who need to screenshot this or see this. I know you're watching with your Facebook lurking self. Stop playing with our children. Stop using word play. Stop being a board member, making excuses, talking about we being blamed for stuff that we didn't do. What you doing now? You doing the same thing the people before you did. Stop trying to play on people's feelings and use words like that. We trying to do something. Steve Carter taught me years ago. He said, you can't make money in excuses. And I've taken that and said, you can't educate children and make excuses. Elected officials do not have the right to make an excuse as to why it's not getting done. I don't care who you hired. As an elected official, a board member, chairman of the board, say that they're being blamed for things that happened before they got there, damn lie, because y'all all been there. You done worked in it all your lives. Your first job was in there. You've seen the inequities and you could have changed it a long time ago, and you have the power to do it now. So your excuses can go to hell. My screen froze. I'm gonna say it again. Your excuses can go to hell. You have no room as an elected official to whine and cry. So now that they've gotten money, now it is we being blamed for something we didn't do. Where is the accountability? And we ain't letting up.
At all.
You think we being hard now? Keep on playing with us. That's all I'm gonna say. Because we got all day and all night. Because we stay awake all night worrying about our babies. Ain't none of y'all gonna sleep. Run tell that.
I'll say, just as one of the things that I wanted to show, a parent just leading the chant, who's got your back? Because at the end of the day, we realize we can't do this by ourselves. And when we think we're lonely and we think, we're losing the battle, we do our battle chant. Who's got my back? And accountability plus partnership equals leadership. And so one thing I'm gonna play. Let's see, okay.
I got your back. Who's got my back? 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 I got your back. I got your back. I got your back. Okay, now. It's all back. I got your back.
And that's why we're here. That is why we're here.
And that parent was fighting through them tears, Sean.
Whenever we think it's just us, whenever we think it's over, we come together and we come strong. And the fight is going to continue. The fight is going to continue.
And it's going to get stronger, stronger, and stronger. We want to see the plan now. And yeah, you can wait until next week and show it to the school board, but you only prove our point. You don't want real parent partnership. You want to keep doing to us, throwing stuff at us and not including us because you don't value us as parents. You don't respect us as parents. You don't look at us as stakeholders. You look at our children as dollars and cents that'll keep your schools open and that will pay jobs and pay people. And just because we hold you accountable doesn't mean we don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
We just love our children more. And we're not here for people to like us or to dislike us. And I don't think that it's too much to ask for the things that we're asking for. We are not out here asking for anything that we shouldn't be getting. But you have parents who send emails, white parents, and get school buildings. And our school buildings got holes in the roof. And so when we yell, it's a war cry.
Mm-hmm.
It's the cry of our ancestors. And it's sad that we got to protest and fight just to see the plan. Oh, and school board members said that the district already had plans to do this. No, you didn't, because we was talking to you about it back in the summertime. That was a rabbit. We was thinking I bumped his head on the table. I'm sorry, I got tickled. About this. Back in June and July, school board members never even heard of it. And to hear a school board member try to diminish parents in front of a platform was despicable, distasteful, and it was punkish and weak. I hope y'all we recording this because I'll say it again. It's weak. It's poor leadership. I ain't gonna say nothing else because right now I'm in rare form. And I feel like telling people how I really feel.
Yeah. And so I would end with just today, just all the parents, I've seen a couple of parents just know we'll be reaching out just to kind of talk through, get your input, get your insight, because this is a parents movement. This is what we got to see. And if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And as we have gone through this school year, like a stock market and a roller coaster, like we have to have the plans as we're going into summer school, the extended school year, as we get ready to start August. We need everyone at the table, especially all of our alum. Even the people who are just looking at this. Candace, we need you too. Latia, cohort 5, gonna keep it alive. We definitely need you too. And so I'll end with that, Sanya, with just the appeal, just be on the lookout.
Have a good week, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm over here being the mama now.
Hey, there we go. Teamwork. All right, guys.